Rather you are an F1 fan or not, it's almost impressive that you just found out about it. This is a huge deal for both Hamilton and Formula One as a whole. The 7-time world champion's move to Maranello for 2025 has been in the news all over the world. After one more year with Mercedes, Formula One's most successful driver will move to the sport's most successful team. He will, however, be replaced at Mercedes by a lot of people. So, here is a list with the drivers that are most likely to be chosen to partner George Russell in 2025. Alex Albon. This could be a good choice for Mercedes, and it would be similar to Russell's move from Williams to Mercedes. It's the best time of his life now that he's back on track after a year off, after being demoted from Red Bull and moving to Williams. Many people think that his time with Williams is coming to an end, and he will likely have other options. Mercedes could be the best one of them. Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso's partnership with Aston Martin is off to a great start, but they started to fall apart near the end of 2023. Could he have one more chance before the end of his illustrious career? Aston Martin is doing everything they can to get him to stay with the team after his current contract ends. But Alonso is more than capable of weighing his options and making the best choice for him. If Mercedes want experience, a chance to win the World Championship and speed, they don't need to look any further. Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz will be a free agent at the end of 2024. It would make a lot of sense for him to go to Mercedes, since he hasn't done much wrong at Maranello. Even though he is leaving for good at the end of the season, rumours that he is going to Sauber are likely to grow stronger, since Sauber will become Audi in 2026. His dad, Carlos Sainz Sr., has already said that he and Audi have exchanged views about the future, so that might be the first place he goes. Don't rule out Mercedes, though, in case Sainz goes after a chance that he knows will be more competitive in the first place. Esteban Ocon. Esteban Ocon is a former Mercedes junior driver who is still managed by the Silver Arrows from Alpine. He might finally get the drive that was put aside for him. Still, a lot of things would have to be in place before that could happen. For example, he would have to make himself stand out over Pierre Gasly at Alpine in 2024. He knows a lot about the Mercedes team and would fit in well if chosen. Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo's first goal is to show what he can do at RB so that he can have the best chance of working with Max Verstappen at Red Bull in 2025. Take no prisoners. If Sergio Perez does enough to keep his seat, or if Yuki Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, or someone from outside Red Bull gets the job, instead of the Australian would have a chance to race for Mercedes and get back to the top of the pack. Andrea Kimi Antonelli. The big hope for the future. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, a junior driver for Mercedes, was moved up from Formula 3 to Formula 2 for this season. The 17-year-old has clearly done well enough to deserve the move. It was 2022 that he won the Italian and ADACE F4 titles. The next year, he won the Formula Regional titles in both the Middle East and European Championships. The Italian was probably meant to replace Hamilton when his contract ends at the end of 2025. If his first F2 season goes well, how brave is Toto Wolff to put one of his highly rated rookies in one of his cars? Watch out for him. Mercedes has chosen George Russell to be the team's new leader, and Wolff spoke highly of Russell in a Friday media call. Wolff then talked about the possibility of taking a chance on Antonelli. Kimi's been with Mercedes since he was 11, Wolff told media, in the wake of Lewis Hamilton's confirmed departure. He's been in the junior program, and his junior career was very successful. I think what's most important at this stage is that he concentrates on F2. If we start to spin his mind, or unleash rumours in the media onto him, that's not going to help his F2 campaign. He's just stepped out of karts a few years ago and he's not even 18, so I would rather not start any speculation about Kimi going into Formula One at that stage. Valtteri Bottas. With Carlos Sainz going to Sauber and the team finally giving a race seat to the highly rated reserve driver Théo Pourchaire, Mercedes could do worse than to bring back Valtteri Bottas, who they call a old reliable. The team is looking to the future and believes Russell could be their next leader. Bottas would be a strong choice to go with Russell, but there are so many other strong candidates that it's likely that a few other seats in F1's musical chairs would be filled before a return is even considered. Mick Schumaker. Mick Schumacher is still working for Mercedes as a reserve driver and is doing everything he can behind the scenes to help the team move forward. To show he is ready to go back to F1, he will have to do well on the track with Alpine in the World Endurance Championship. For Schumaker, not being on the grid this year is a bad thing because there is no better time to buy a car in F1. At least he will have a chance to get back on the track if that happens. Sebastian Vettel. It would have been in the possible section, at least if Toto Wolff hadn't said in his press conference, after Hamilton's announcement, that he had already talked to Vettel and that he is likely to stay retired. Toto said, "I think he made the decision to not race anymore. We are talking on a regular basis. We've also talked yesterday, but it wasn't about driving for us in the future. It's not likely, but stranger things have happened in Formula One." Toto said that drivers like Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc might have been especially interesting to Mercedes. There's an exciting situation at the end of 2024 with some drivers becoming available. Others just signed a few weeks ago, so these ones would have been opportunities. So that timing, if it would have been 6 weeks earlier, there would have been more opportunities, but it is what it is. But in 24 and 25 and beyond, the driver market is very interesting. We need to look out to the future. Who is it that we can partner with, George? What's the best combination? I think in terms of the drivers that could hopefully join, there's a variety of options. At this stage, I wouldn't want to commit to, this is when we are going to do it. I want to take my time. It's not the first time Mercedes and Wolff have had to scramble to find new options, having had to find a replacement for retiring world champion Nico Rosberg just a few days after the German driver won his title. In the same way, we've embraced the Nico situation, and that was equally from one moment to the other unexpected. I'm really looking forward to making the right decisions for the team together with my colleagues in who's going to be in the seat next year. And maybe it's a chance to do something bold. I guess that a few contracts have been signed a few weeks ago that we would have looked at. That could have been interesting, but the timing here bit us a bit. But in a way, I always like change because change provides you with opportunity. We have a year to get used to it. So when the 2025 season starts in March with Hamilton's first race in red, a lot of fans will be already used with the idea. For Ferrari fans, the only thing they want is to win the Drivers' Championship. You will have their full support, love, hero worship, and everything else you could want if they think you are the driver who can do that for them. You can do it even if your name is Lewis Hamilton. While the British driver hasn't won a Grand Prix or world title since 2021, he does have 103 Grands and 7 world titles. He had a rough year in 2022, probably because he was still dealing with the emotional fallout from Abu Dhabi 2021, but he got better last season. Even though Mercedes didn't give him a car that could compete with the Red Bull, he showed everyone that he hadn't lost any of his skills when he was on his game. And Ferrari needs him to have that skill both on the track and in the factory. What are your thoughts about our choices for the next Mercedes driver? Who do you think will replace Hamilton? Please let us know in the comments down below.